The marquee win of the Jedd Fisch era has a lot bigger indications of something great than maybe just the game on the field. We're going to discuss that and more.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, Arizona football gets the marquee win of the Jedd Fisch era, and to put it mildly, it wasn't even close, and there were a variety of reasons how we got to this point. But first and foremost, have to thank Dave Hickey for his vision on how he was able to do this. Again, when Jedd Fisch was hired, I thought it was bizarre. Not only did I think it was bizarre, I thought it was a reach. And Jedd Fisch came in here, and like I said, everything he said he was able to do. And not only was he able to do everything he said, he was able to excel at it as well. A big part of all of this, though, is that he saw that Arizona football could win, but you just needed to have something else in there. You needed to be able to have a little bit of a coach that was prepared to go all out, and that's exactly what he got in Jedd Fisch. And you're seeing the manifestations of that. Right now. This team across the board is good, and not only is it good, it is really there's not a lot of weaknesses right there. Not only are there not a lot of weaknesses, there are not a lot of things to complain about. And the first thing is that having Noah Fifita at that quarterback position is absolutely there's no other way to put it, man. This is the dude right there. And not only is he the dude, he is the guy who can he can do essentially what he wants out there on the field. He understands football. He's got a receiving unit that knows how to get open, and he has got a camaraderie with these guys that I think is pretty rare. It's pretty special. And again, Noah Fifita is that dude right there, and he's going to be able to continue to do this. This is not he's got a winning gene. He's got a clutch gene that a lot of players just don't have. JDL can do some really good things, but he didn't have that clutch gene to him. Not only did he not have that clutch gene to him, in a big spot, you generally were like, all right, well, this could be a little bit of an issue here. Not, my friends, not with Noah Fifita. Noah Fifita, even if he's not playing great, because again, he didn't play great yesterday, but at the end of games, when he needed to make the play, he was able to make the play. Not only that, this is a guy that this community totally rallies around. And not only does this community rally around him, I think it's fair to say that we're also at the point, too, where he's got some real revolutionary potential here. And not only does he have a revolutionary potential, he is the dude that other players are going to want to play with. That's just the way it is. Good players want to play with good players. Noah Fifita is a really, really good football player, so it would make perfect sense that other good players would want to play with him. And not only that, he's kind of he might be kind of that Sean Elliott type recruit for Jedd Fisch, in that he had a lot of really other good players around him, but not only did you have a lot of other really good players around him, you still needed that one marquee player. And at the quarterback position, I think it's fair to say that he's going to be that dude again for the next 3 years. Not only is he going to be that dude for the next 3 years, you've got with those wide receivers, with that running back core, which we're going to get to, There is a lot to like. But again, across the board, this was a big-time performance. And I think the thing that was most impressive about Arizona is how they were able to salt the game away at the end right there. Not only were they able to salt the game away, they were able to kind of just beat up Oregon State. And I think that's where a lot of people were surprised. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they'd be able to beat up Oregon State in the manner in which they did. And that's exactly what they did down the stretch. Oregon State couldn't stop them. And I think it's fair to say at this point that Arizona has a really, really good spot that they should be in the top 25. Because again, this isn't like something fluky. This doesn't feel like we're watching something where this doesn't feel like this is something where we're watching. You're like, this isn't that good. Or it felt fluky. Like with Rich Rod's teams, we've talked about it before. A lot of that kind of felt fluky. Like, again, it didn't really feel sustainable. This feels sustainable. This feels like the kind of game where not only is it sustainable, but we're also kind of entering that realm right now where you kind of think that maybe Arizona football is on the verge of something national. Because you look across the board right here. We talked about the offense. You got those three running backs right there between Michael Wiley, who was back, by the way, fantastic. Love having Michael Wiley back. Jonah Coleman, who was just an absolute monster. Then DJ Williams, who kind of salts games away right there. This is next level stuff right here, ladies and gentlemen. And not only is it next level stuff, it's something we generally have happen on the other side of the football. So again, we are going to bask in this win as we should. We deserve this win. And not only do we deserve this win, I think this is the kind of win, though, that can propel Arizona to unforeseen, like I said, to some really big next level stuff right there. But again, big tip of the cap to Jedd Fisch for making this one all happen. And he out-schemed Jonathan Smith left and right. And not only did he out-scheme Jonathan Smith, I think, was kind of at a loss for what he was kind of at a loss right there. Not only was he kind of at a loss for what they wanted to do, I don't think that he really had an idea that Arizona could just beat him up the way they did. And that's exactly what happened. Although we will thank Jonathan Smith for one thing. That fake at the beginning of the first, or at the end of the first half, was one of the dumbest things I have ever seen in my life. I will take that fake every day of the week, and I will embrace that fake because that fake was absolutely terrible. But like I said, if we're Arizona fans, we will take that because, again, this is kind of where we're at. That we've been on the other side of that. We know exactly where Arizona has been. We know where we're going, and we're going to embrace that. Now, the defense has become a real problem for everybody else out there. That is something that we are definitely going to talk about. And what it means, though, can this be the defense that carries you going forward? We're going to talk about that. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, my friends, we have got a lot more to talk about right here. And not only do we have a lot more to talk about, we have a defense on our hands. And how many times over the years has it felt like this was just a lightweight defense? And by lightweight defense, I don't mean that as a compliment. I mean that as a huge put down right here. Not only was it a lightweight defense, it was a defense that just didn't look the part. And not only did it not look the part, it didn't feel like a real Power 5 defense a lot of the times. It was undersized. They couldn't get after the passer. They couldn't do a lot of different things. And not only could they not do a lot of different things, they weren't able to, like I said, they just weren't able to do anything out there that they needed to do. And I think that was a little bit of the issue. And that, I think, going forward is where Arizona fans are excited, because at all levels of the defense, it's good now. Not only is it good on the defensive line, you've got Big Bill Norton, our guy Big Bill Norton, Tai Uiagalelei, Jacob Kincaid, Tia Savea, Tyler Manoa. And then on the outsides right there, you have Russell Davis, you have Russell Davis backing up both sides. Then you got Taylor Upshaw, who might have 10 sacks this year. Not only Taylor Upshaw, but you also have Isaiah Ward. Just really, really good football players across the board right there. Impressive stuff. And then at the linebacking unit, obviously Jacob Manu. Then you got Justin Flo. Both those dudes lined up next to each other are problems for anybody. Again, anybody out there are going to have problems with those two young men. And then the secondary, Takario Davis, we need you to catch passes, or catch easy interceptions. But not only do we need you to catch easy interceptions, my friends. You got to take advantage of some of those. Now, not only do you need to take advantage of some of those, you got to take advantage of all of them. Ephesians Prysock, dude, I don't even know what to say about him. He has been absolutely fantastic all season. That's what an NFL cornerback looks like. And honestly, this is the type of guy that Arizona has had in few and far between since Antoine Cason was here. And honestly, I don't know that they've had a corner built like that since Randy Robbins? I mean, you're definitely having to go back a little ways right there to find that dude. And then, at that safety spot, you've got a team right there that is just next level. I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than the fact that it was next level. And not only was it next level, this is a defense that has the making of being dominant. And I think that's what's exciting about all of this, is that this has the making of a dominant defense right here. Because again, they're big. They don't rely on gimmicks. They don't rely on sleight of hands or trickeration or anything like that. They rely on just being really, really good. And honestly, that's obviously a very, very good thing. But Arizona football is definitely on the ascendancy right there because, again, that was a good Oregon State team that Arizona just blasted, but took care of in the later stages of the game. And not only did they take care of them in the later stages of the game, they were able to get essentially make things very easy for the Arizona defense by just running the ball out right there. But again, that was huge. That was absolutely a massive win for Arizona. And honestly, that was a statement win right there. That's the best way I'm going to put it. That was a statement win, my friends, because again, it's easy to kind of beat a team here or there and know that, this probably isn't sustainable. This probably isn't real, or however you want to name it. This was different, though. Like I said, this was the performance where you're like, all right, things are a little bit different. Things feel a little bit different in Jedd Fisch land right now. And it's because on both sides of the ball, it is, on both sides of the ball, it is really, again, this is a really good product that we've seen out there. And not only is it a really good product we saw, I don't think that there's any reason to, I don't think there's any reason to suspect that this won't continue. And not only do I think there's no reason to suspect this won't continue, I think it will. Now, the big thing, though, is going to be can you keep Jedd Fisch around? Because you got to be able to keep Jedd Fisch around with the job that he's done with this squad, with the way that he has infused talent, the way that he has rallied this community. This guy has some Lute Olson potential to him. He's got to be able, like I said, Arizona's got to be able to pay him because he has done everything he said he was going to do and more. He has delivered, and you got your quarterback for the next 3 years. And not only do you have your quarterback for the next 3 years, you've got the player who I think at all the wide receiver spots, you're going to always be set with Jedd Fisch. At running back, you're going to be set. And on that offensive line, you're going to be set as well. There is just not much that you can't say with this team and be like, all right, well, that's it right there. So again, on the offensive line, very good already. The defensive line, good. The wide receivers are fantastic. Noah Fafita speaks for itself. The running backs are awesome. Just overall, and the staff on top of that is great as well. This is just an awesome, awesome time to be an Arizona Wildcat fan, and we shouldn't forget any of that right there, my friends. All right, we'll be back with you tomorrow, but again, huge win for Arizona. Post-game reaction right here because, again, when you got a football product that's playing like this and you're not used to seeing it, it's something you need to celebrate even on the weekends. All right, on that note, we will talk with you tomorrow.